The little voice that moved mountains. Principal Harriet Stone's gavel crashed down so hard it cracked. The school board members flinched, parents gasped, and 4-year-old Mia Williams, whose future hung in the balance, simply tilted her head and said, "Your heart is blue today, isn't it?" Those 6 words silenced the room. Those 6 words would change everything. Sarah Williams hadn't slept in 3 days. The single mother of 2 worked double shifts at Memorial Hospital as a nurse while studying for her practitioner's license. Her dark circles had circles, and her uniform always smelled faintly of industrial coffee no matter how many times she washed it. But today, she'd called in sick for the first time in 5 years. Today was too important. "Miss Williams, please approach the panel," Principal Stone instructed, her steel-rimmed glasses glinting under the fluorescent lights of Westfield Elementary's administrative hall. Sarah squeezed Mia's tiny hand as they walked forward together. The room felt impossibly large, with rows of concerned parents watching from the back, and the 7-member school board seated at an elevated table that made them look like judges in a high-stakes trial. "In many ways, they were here today," Principal Stone began, shuffling papers without looking up, to address the situation regarding Mia Williams and her unusual behaviors. Sarah's throat tightened. Unusual was just another word for problematic in education speak. She knew that all too well. "Your daughter has been speaking to imaginary people, claiming to see colors around staff members, and disrupting class with statements that make other children uncomfortable," Principal Stone continued. "Despite 3 parent-teacher conferences and our recommendation for psychological evaluation, you failed to take action." "I have taken action," Sarah countered, fighting to keep her voice steady. "Mia isn't disturbed or troubled. She has synesthesia. It's a neurological condition where we know what synesthesia is, Miss Williams," interrupted Vice Principal Thornton, a balding man whose perpetual frown seemed carved into his face. "But that doesn't explain the imaginary friends, or the disruptive state." "They're not imaginary," Mia's small voice piped up. All eyes turned to the little girl with wild black curls and mismatched socks, one purple with stars, one green with frogs. "They're just people you can't see yet." Nervous laughter rippled through the room. Principal Stone's mouth tightened into a thin line. "This is exactly the concerning behavior we're addressing," she said. "Miss Williams, Westfield Elementary prides itself on academic excellence and appropriate social development. Your daughter needs specialized attention we cannot provide." Sarah's heart sank. "You're expelling her. She's 4 years old." "Not expelling. Recommending transfer to Lakeside Alternative Learning Center," Principal Stone clarified, sliding a brochure across the table. "They're equipped for children with special needs." Sarah knew about Lakeside. It was where the district sent children deemed too difficult, too different, or too disadvantaged to fit the perfect profile of Westfield Elementary. The school with chain-link fences and metal detectors. The school with outdated textbooks and overcrowded classrooms. The school where dreams went to die. "No," Sarah said firmly, pushing the brochure back. "My daughter is gifted, not disabled. She needs understanding, not isolation." Principal Stone's gavel slammed down again. "Miss Williams, this is not a negotiation. The board has already." "Your heart is blue today, isn't it?" Mia interrupted, looking directly at Principal Stone. The room fell silent. "Excuse me?" Principal Stone's voice had lost its edge, replaced by something almost like fear. "Blue, like when Daddy left and never came back," Mia continued, her innocent eyes fixed on the principal's face. "Mom's heart was blue for a long time too. She cried in the shower so I wouldn't hear, but I could see the blue getting darker." Sarah froze. She had never told Mia about crying in the shower, never let her daughter see her breakdown after the divorce. Principal Stone removed her glasses slowly, revealing eyes rimmed with unexpected redness. "Young lady, what are you talking about? The picture on your desk is blue too," Mia said softly. "The one you turn down when people come in. Is that your daddy?" The silence in the room deepened as Principal Stone's composed facade crumbled visibly. Her hand trembled slightly as she set her gavel down. "How did you?" she began, but couldn't finish. Board member Dr. Jenkins leaned forward. "Harriet, what is she talking about?" Principal Stone seemed unable to speak, staring at Mia as if seeing a ghost. Sarah gently placed her hands on Mia's shoulders. "My daughter doesn't just see colors with emotions or sounds. She sees people's emotional states, their grief, their joy, their pain. She always had. That's not possible, Vice Principal Thornton scoffed. You're orange and spiky, Mia said, turning to him. Like when people are lying to themselves. Thornton's face flushed crimson. And you, Mia continued, pointing to Abernathy, the kindergarten coordinator. You're pink and yellow swirls today. That's good. It means the medicine is working. Miss Abernathy gasped, her hand flying to cover her mouth. No one at the school knew she had started chemotherapy 3 weeks ago. The room erupted in whispers. Parents in the back rows stood for a better view. One of the board members crossed himself. Principal Stone raised a shaking hand for silence. When she finally spoke, her voice had transformed from cold authority to something raw and human. My father passed away 2 months ago, she said quietly. I keep his photo on my desk, but I turn it down during meetings because I still can't. She stopped, unable to continue. Sarah felt Mia's small hand slip into hers and squeeze. Her daughter had always been her strength, even when she was supposed to be the strong one. Miss Williams, Principal Stone said after composing herself, perhaps we've been hasty in our assessment of your daughter's situation. Perhaps, Sarah agreed, allowing herself the smallest flicker of hope. What followed was unprecedented in Westfield Elementary's 60-year history. The hearing transformed into an impromptu discussion about neurodiversity, emotional intelligence, and the limitations of standardized educational approaches. As Mia quietly colored in a corner, educators and parents alike shared stories of children who didn't fit the conventional mold, children who thought differently, perceived differently, experienced the world in ways that couldn't be captured by traditional metrics. By afternoon's end, not only had Mia secured her place at Westfield, but Principal Stone had proposed a pilot program for emotionally and neurologically diverse students, with Sarah invited to consult on its development, given her medical background. 6 months later, the Spectrum program launched with a ribbon-cutting ceremony attended by the district superintendent and local press. Children who once would have been shuttled to alternative facilities now thrive in specialized classrooms designed to work with their unique perceptions rather than against them. And at the heart of it all was a little girl who could see the colors no one else could see. Principal Stone, now known to Mia as Miss Harriet, kept a new photo on her desk, one facing outward for all to see. It showed her father in his military uniform alongside a group of children from the first Spectrum class, digitally combined. 2 dreams coming together, she explained to visitors. On a bright spring morning, as Sarah dropped Mia off at school, Principal Stone met them at the entrance. Good morning, Miss Williams, she said warmly before crouching down to Mia's level. And how are we seeing things today, Miss Mia? Mia beamed. Your heart isn't blue anymore, it's purple with gold sparkles. Principal Stone laughed, a sound that would have been unimaginable in the old days. And what does that mean? Healing, Mia said simply. And helping others heal too. As Principal Stone walked them to Mia's classroom, she confided to Sarah. You know, I almost resigned after my father died. 40 years in education and I'd become exactly the kind of administrator I despised as a young teacher. Rigid, unyielding, blind to anything beyond test scores and protocols. Sarah nodded, understanding all too well how grief could harden a person. Your daughter didn't just save her own education that day, Principal Stone continued. She saved mine too. They paused at the colorful door of Mia's classroom, decorated with handprints of all sizes and colors. Inside, children who processed the world in a dozen different ways learned together, their differences celebrated rather than suppressed. She reminds me of my father, actually, Principal Stone said softly. He always said education should be about seeing the extraordinary in every child. I'd forgotten that until Mia saw me, really saw me, when I couldn't even see myself. As Sarah watched her daughter skip into the classroom, greeting friends with descriptions of their colorful auras, she realized that sometimes the smallest voices speak the most profound truth. Sometimes a child's innocent perception can move mountains of bureaucracy, prejudice, and fear. And sometimes the things we think make us broken are actually what make us special. In a world that often valued conformity over compassion, one little girl's unique vision had created space for countless others to be seen not for who they should be, but for who they truly were. If Mia's story touched your heart, help us share more voices that need to be heard. Hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video, because sometimes the smallest actions create the biggest changes. Your support allows us to keep finding these extraordinary stories hiding in ordinary lives. Join our journey today.